Hi guys, I hope that you're all okay. My apologies, I haven't posted any videos for a couple of days. Unfortunately, the microphone on my computer is no longer working, and my phone would only record kind of 2-minute videos at a time, so I've had to get an iPad from school so that I can carry on. So I will catch up with some of your challenges over the weekend and post a few of them over the weekend. But now I'm going to continue with the story. So if you remember last time, we left it where Stan had decided to run away with Mr. Dot and his daughter Natasha. They had just arrived at their new campsite and they were sat down around the fire with some of the other people there from the fair. Another woman in another part of the field sings a song. Mr. Dot and the others at the fire, they talk. They talk of fairs they remember and of fairs they know through legend and myth. Somebody brings a crate of beer to the fireside, and as they drink, they talk of magic acts and escapologists and two-headed goats and of those who can talk to the dead. They talk in strange accents from far-flung places and faraway lands. Stan listens and loses himself in the voices that flash and flicker like the flames. He loses himself in the tales that move like weird shadows through the air. After a time, a great full moon lifts over the field and bathes everything in its strange silver light. They say Pancho Pirelli's on his way, says one of the voices. Pirelli? I thought he was in Madagascar or Zanzibar or somewhere. I thought he was dead, said another. Seems he was spotted on the road somewhere in the north. Pancho, come you here? Can't be nothing but a rumour, says one. He's never been nothing but a rumour. All that stuff that's said about him, pah! You'll believe it when you see it. There's nothing to believe. He's a showman, a trickster. You're wrong. He's one of the greats. Was, says someone else. Was one of the greats. Was extraordinary. But even Pancho Pirelli has to get old, has to lose the magic, has to... The voice doesn't finish the sentence. They all sigh Pancho's name and shake their heads in wonder. Who is Pancho Pirelli? Stan dares to ask. You'll see, says Mr. Dot. If he turns up, you'll see, and you'll not have seen anything like it before. They all nod at that and move on to talk of other things. Chapter 16. They stay by the fire, deep into the night. Stan whispers to Mr. Dot. Mr. Dot, I think I need the toilet. You think you need the toilet, he replies. I mean, I do need the toilet. The boy needs the toilet, Mr. Dot calls. The lavatory, comes another voice. The thunderbox, the loo, the netty, the bog. Stan feels his face burning. Where is it? He whispers. It's out there, in the dark, says Mr. Dot. If it's a number 2, go downwind and dig a ditch. He touches Stan's arm gently. It's okay. There'll be a proper place tomorrow. Go to the edge of the field. We'll keep an eye out for you coming back. Laughter follows Stan as he stands up and leaves. He shuffles away from the fire. He stumbles over car tracks and holes. He smells potatoes and beer and pies and horse dung and wood smoke and pipe smoke. A little dog sniffs at his heels. A couple of scrawny, half-naked kids call out to him. Who are you? What's your name? Stan, says Stan. What are you doing here? I'm with the hooker duck stall, answers Stan, and he surprises himself by feeling a little flicker of pride. Aha, said the kids, impressed. Stan goes beyond the fires to the deeper dark at the edge of the field. I said we'd meet again, comes a gentle voice. Stan turns. A woman standing there, wearing a long dress and a headscarf. Her face shines in the light of the moon. Gypsy Rose, she says. Remember? Yes, says Stan. I said that you would travel, remember? Yes, says Stan. And you must have done so, for here you are, so far away. I remember that your name is Stan. She moves closer. She holds his chin, gently turns his face towards the moon. Let me look into your eyes. Ah, yes, I see that you are still entranced. And I see that you have become dejected, as I said you would. Stan can't move. He doesn't know whether to run, to call out, or just to stay where he is. Don't worry, Stan, murmurs Gypsy Rose. I'm no danger to you. Do you have silver with which to cross my palm? I've got nothing, he says. Nothing? That's not quite true, is it, Stan? You have yourself. You have your good heart. Always remember that. Now, Let us say that the moonlight is silver. She opens her hand and lets the moonlight fall across her palm. Thank you for it, Stan. Now, open your hand and let me look into it. She takes his hand and opens it and lets the moonlight fall on it. He looks down at the lines and tiny creases and cracks and bulges there. Moonlight is the best of all, says Gypsy Rose. It gives the truth, the most truth-telling light. She traces the lines on his palm with her fingertip. Oh, Stanley, she murmurs, there have already been disastrous moments in your short life, but you will live long, and better times will come if you can overcome the perils that lie in wait. Perils, whispers Stan. What is the purpose of living if there are no perils to be encountered and overcome? She smiles. Stan can't answer her. I see water, she continues. I see great peril there. She leans closer. But you must be brave. You must say yes. Much gold could be yours. Do not be troubled by the teeth. Troubled by the... I don't know what that means, but I do know that you left someone behind, Stan. Yes, he says. My aunt and uncle, Annie and Ernie. Can you see what's happening to them? Gypsy Rose shakes her head. No, but perhaps your heart and the moon will draw them to you. The moon? The moon is filled with the yearning of human hearts, Stan. Have you noticed how it burns bright, brightest when the heart is longing? Stan has no answer. Is it true? He gazes now up into the moon and thinks of his absent aunt and uncle. And yes, its light does seem to intensify. Annie and I look upon the same moon as you, Stan, says Gypsy Rose. Do they have good hearts too? Yes, says Stan. Then he thinks of Ernie and the tin of goldfish, and he turns his eyes towards the earth. But they've made mistakes, she says. Yes, as we all do. If our hearts are good and true, the light of the moon that is filled with your yearning will draw them to you. Now, you are on an errand, I believe. Stan gulps. I need to go to the loo, he whispers. Then go, says Gypsy Rose. Look, there are some shadows beneath those old trees there. Stan turns from her. He slips into the shadows under the trees and goes to the loo in the silvery dark. When he returns, she's gone, and the dark shape of Mr. Dot is moving through the field, calling his name. Chapter 17. That night, when they return to the caravan at last, Stan lies on a bench beneath a blanket with the 13th fish and its companions at his side. The moon shines through the little caravan window, and he gazes up and sends his yearning through the night. Then he sleeps, and in his dreams angry policemen shine torches into his eyes and warn him that he'd better be good. A glowing fire rises from the earth and turns into the moon. Voices drones and whisper and laughs and singing. He sees giants and dwarfs and 3-headed sheep. A strong man lifts him up, throws him into the sky and catches him as he falls. A man with a tiger on his back chases him into a forest. Ducks spin in circles round his head. He finds himself deep in water, swimming, and there's a fin on his back. My companions, he cries. Oh, where are my companions? He sees Annie and Ernie walking along the road beside the sea. They look ancient and worn. He calls to them. He reaches out to them, and then comes a voice from far, far away. Come on, up, 6 o'clock and time to start. Stan leaps from his sleep. Is he back in Fish Key Lane? Is the fish canning about to begin? No, he's in the caravan. The voice is Mr. Dot's. It's 6 o'clock, Stan. There's a hooker duck stall to put up. It's time to start. Okay, I'm going to have to stop there. So tune in tomorrow to see how his first day goes on the hooker duck stall and see how his life begins to change. I'll see you tomorrow.